Perhaps you were tuned in yesterday in my series of studies here. I call it the danger of cheap religion. I mentioned a lady, and as I said yesterday, I've known her for a long time. I'm not going to give a name, but if she were to hear this teaching, she'd know I was talking about her. And I talked about how that they went into a new adventure of their life to start a new business. And it was having trials, as that type of thing does. And like I told you yesterday, I've been in business for over 50 years. I know the trials and tribulation of trying to do something like this. And she had this vehicle that they thought they could sell this and that would cure their problems. But the reality is that it would have just been a Band-Aid. But as the process went, somewhere along the line, I think they did sell that vehicle, but not in time. And I've watched the struggle. But here is the thing that you need to know, that fast forward many years, I've watched this couple grow in faith. And I've witnessed tremendous trials. I'm talking about some really tough situations in their lives. But they've stood strong. And to this day, their faith is strong, because that's what happens. You see, sometimes God has to take us through these processes. And the nature of us humans, those of us who are living in these bodies of flesh, we want to circumvent it. We don't want to go through the hard times. We want to do something to try to put a quick fix to this situation. But when we do, we stop the process of what God is doing and growing and maturing us to build us for a work that He has for us oftentimes down the road. So the danger of cheap religion is when we build our spiritual lives up on a house. Jesus describes this in one of His teachings about two men who built houses, and one of them built a house on sand. The other built their house upon a rock. The one who built the house upon the rock, that house withstood the storms of life. And when the winds blew and everything seemed to be coming against it, it was able to withstand. But the one who built their house on the sand is what I'd call the cheap religion. Tried to take the shortcut, didn't want to bother with putting a foundation under it. They were not able to withstand the storms that are going to come. And life is going to have its storms. Jesus told us this. He says, in this world, you're going to have tribulation, trouble. There's going to be trouble. But it isn't always to say this trouble comes from the devil. Sometimes God allows these things to happen to us because He's building His character into us, and He's helping us to grow strong, because we do have this mission. We do have this calling. And for every Christian person, we cannot walk away from the reality that He has called us to be ambassadors for Christ Himself. This is Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.